What are non-prosecution agreements and how do you get one? Non-prosecution agreements are agreements between the U.S. Attorney's Office, you and your attorney, that say everyone understands that you've committed a crime. However, the U.S. Attorney's Office is agreeing not to prosecute you for the criminal conduct. You can apply for a non-prosecution agreement either before you are charged or after you are charged. And this is done by your attorney putting together an application, and it's not really a form, it's your attorney just writing up who you are as a person, why the case happened, what the allegations are, the applicable law, and then your attorney talks about why you should receive a non-prosecution agreement. And it's not really the same as a mitigation packet, does not look like a sentencing submission where the attorney talks about the small children and the elderly grandma and the sick relatives. This is more talking about why it's in the interests of society not to prosecute you for something. We've gone through the non-prosecution process twice as a firm. The first time we were not successful. The second time we were successful, but the client ended up not getting a non-prosecution agreement. That case resolved itself because the prosecutor just said we're not going to charge the client because we were pre-charged at that point. But ultimately, the case that we were successful in persuading the U.S. Attorney's Office not to prosecute the client or not charge him at all was on a very archaic, very technical environmental law statute that was just so bizarre. And the client had so many things going for him, and we had a really good explanation as to why the case happened, that the U.S. Attorney's Office was like, you know what, we agree, bye, see ya. And I do think you can be successful on a non-prosecution application in very limited circumstances. Does not mean that you don't try, but don't be discouraged if you're not successful, but certainly something to think about. But you got to talk to your lawyer if your case is kind of just on the cusp of potentially being something that you can get a non-pros on. Ultimately, the prosecutors don't like their time wasted, and if they have you on 5 discharges, a Hobbs Act robbery, a little CCE action, there is no way they're going to give you a non-pros. But if you have a smaller case or if you have some weird statute that applies to your situation, non-pros may be the way to go.